Well, hello everyone. This is Jennifer, and today I'd like to talk to y'all about my garden in January. So this is a calendula flower that I have growing in my little flower bed. That's my cat Gordon. Um, so this earlier this week we had some fencing work happening, and that was quite stressful because there was quite a lot of disturbance. Here I'll show you some of my tree seedlings. So there's that apple tree seedling, and here are some lemon tree seedlings. Most likely these are lemon. I'm pretty sure that's the citrus that I had saved. And then I have some cranberry seeds that are germinating. I accidentally decapitated one earlier this morning, but you can see there's, I think, about 3 in there. And then this is a persimmon that is sprouting. And I have some dates that I'm trying to grow, and we'll see how that goes. These are some potatoes that are springing up from the garden, unfortunately, because it's going to get to 30 degrees later this week. This is some of the fallout from the fencing. I have some trampled fava beans, but overall they're recovering. I think one of the more significant fallouts I've had is quite a lot of the daikon radish that I'd planted. I can't find, so I think it's gone. Here's some low-tech rainwater harvesting. When it's kind of just dripping from the gutter, I put out a little container so that I can use them for plants on sunnier days, to keep seedlings alive and that kind of thing. Because I don't know if you could notice in those tree seedlings, you can see kind of some buildup of, I don't know, like hard water kind of stuff, the white stuff. And so to give the plants a higher quality of water, I'll do some of that rainwater harvesting, just putting buckets underneath gutters and that kind of thing. So we're due to have rain again tomorrow, which is nice. So I won't have to worry as much about keeping things alive. I was trying to clean up some of this is what was keeping our fence together before we replaced it. And so I can't handle that one. That one's too big. I need help with that. So here's what it looks like on our side yard now. The one side of it is really quite scraped earth, and so I planted a ton of stuff into there. Here are my rose cuttings. Some of them are better off than others. And one I actually completely unburied from the dirt. This one is one of the most established rose cuttings, and it was fully buried when I discovered it. And so I was like, my baby. I know in this area I had some wood stacked on top of it and all that. So I definitely did some panicked revamping. So all the rose cuttings on this side are pretty much gone. All of the arugula and anything that was over there is pretty much gone. But I was able to plant in some perennial flowers and lentils and stuff like that. This little cactus was also completely uprooted, and I had kind of a hard time finding it. So I plugged him back in where my compost pile used to be. So the dirt is quite rich there. That's some cauliflower and some lettuce, and here's some perennial collards or kale. Here's lettuce again, very cute lettuce, and here's a potato coming up. Again, very concerned for my potatoes that they're all gonna die when we have another frost. And then green onions and peas. Luckily, everything in my raised beds was not trampled because they're very clearly raised beds. I do suffer a little bit of the messy, like permaculture garden syndrome where people don't really know that it's a garden. Like I had a bunch of my onions trampled on in the front yard, unfortunately. So if you saw my last video, you'll know that I'm weighing and keeping track of my harvests. So this is from the 22nd, and my harvest weight was 2.8 ounces. I had 9 leaves of green mustard, 1 red mustard, 2 perennial green leaves, 18 fava bean leaves, and 31 arugula leaves. I'll clarify, when I say perennial greens, these were seeds that I got from Plant Abundance, and they're a mixed bag of perennial collards and perennial kales, and I don't know. This area was very trampled, these little flower beds over here. My peas were ripped out quite directly. Actually, I'm missing a lawn gnome. That I was very upset after this day, and so the next day I was like, hey, just so you know, I have vegetables in the front yard, so please like try to avoid them. And they were actually much nicer with my plants the next day, including they had knocked down one of my pea plants before I talked to them, and then they actually staked it back up. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think they might have the problem of not really knowing what's a weed and what's intentional, which, I mean, the lines are kind of blurred in general. So what I'm doing over here is plugging in some lentils. These are just lentils from a bag of lentils. And I have some lentils from my previous year's garden, so I could plant those if I wanted to as well. So I'm just trying to revitalize these areas by planting in some lentils. So it's pretty easy. Just put a little stick in the ground, poke a little hole in the dirt, put a lentil in it, and cover it up. So my mint over here is suffering quite terribly, but everything else seems to be doing quite well over there. Here's my harvest from today. So today is the 23rd, and I had a total weight of 3.8 ounces with 1 green lettuce leaf. It's very cute. 4 green mustard leaves, 1 red mustard leaf, 10 cauliflower greens. They're quite small, but quite tender right now. 4 small cabbage leaves, which are kind of rough. 8 small kale leaves, 2 teeny little broccoli leaves, 8 fava bean leaves, 1 green onion, and 7 small little broccoli heads, and 18 arugula leaves. And I made a quite, if I say so myself, I made a quite delicious salad with this, including using the wild plum vinegar that I made in the summer. So now we are in the front yard garden. This is a cardoon and this is a rhubarb, checking in on my baby perennials. I don't know if you can hear Gordon being a prissy little man in the background, but he's begging for food an hour ahead of time. Here are my fava beans, which were not trampled on. I think this is because I said something, so I'm very happy about that. And you can see they're a hub for insects right now. Oh my gosh. You guys, my cat, sometimes, despite how cute he is the worst. But yeah, my goodness, I just loved being out in the garden today. Even though I was kind of stressed out about replanting some of the torn up areas, just seeing like all these ladybugs and the bees and all of that is just great. It's very hopeful. Here's my poppy and an onion that got a little bit trampled, but I think they'll be fine. And then here you can see I'm planting up some peas on my new front fence that has the like hog panel sides so that you can grow up them, and I'm so excited. So far in the torn up dirt that is surrounding the fence, I have planted lentils, the fava beans, and peas, and perennial flowers. And I planted some radishes and some beets as well. I think that's it. Some daikons. That's all I have for today. And as always, thanks for watching.